Hello friends, I'm Kalgaryok, and in today's video I shall be discussing a few more typical questions which an IO may ask you during the interview. The aim is to understand as to what is the purpose of asking these questions and have some clarity in the mind while framing your answers. One such question could be, do you drink or smoke? Obviously, at the face of it, drinking is not very uncommon. As an adult, a young school children, obviously it's not a good thing, but once you graduate, I'm not saying it's a dumb thing, but occasionally some may have done. So there's no, it's good not to be drinking. But in case you have, it's not good to start feeling guilty about it. Put it forthrightly, is by and large, or as a general rule, I don't drink. But an occasional, in a celebration, in a marriage at home, or with friends after the exams, once in a while, would be that kind of thing could be okay. But it's not would be indulgent at this stage. That takes you away from your goal. Similarly, question like, do you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend? A lot of people have doubts. How should I answer this? Should I say yes? Should I say no? See, firstly, understand why is he asking this question. As you grow up in life through your adolescence, building interest in opposite gender is quite natural. As you grow up, you start feeling a little conscious, you want to make friends. Some people are hesitant, some people are not. So general idea is to say, okay, are you socially growing up in a balanced manner? Are you too hesitant? Or even if you are a little open, friendly, do you know your limits? So that's a larger idea of asking such questions. So therefore, obviously, if you study the environment where boys and girls study together, it's very natural to make friends as classmates, as teammates, as social friends. Right? So nothing wrong with that. So you can talk of friends like that. Relationships, not really a good time to at least talk of relationships. You may have. Good to say we're good friends because a lot of people who get into relationships very often have breakups, they have emotional upheavals, and as a result, they lose focus on what they're doing. It takes a mastery. So not a good way to grow up with. Good to make friends, good to maybe a crush on somebody, nothing wrong with that. But knowing your limits is all right, and steering yourself well during the interview, as we are good friends. That's the problem. Don't talk of very serious relationship. That, in any case, best avoidable. You could ask questions like your performance in examinations. If your marks have come down, the reason for that. And even some marks have improved. You may like to understand how did that happen. Now understand marks scoring in exams is never linear. It always fluctuates up and down. But by and large, people maintain a level of their own. People who high scorers, they remain in that high bracket. Mediocres will remain mediocre. 5 to 10% variations may be there. Nothing to worry about. The IO may ask you some questions, but not too concerned. You may have. But the variation is more. Say 20%, 15%. When somebody scores about 85, 90, and he comes out to 65, 70, 60. So obviously there is going to be something else. Very often, the reasons given are, yes, I was participating in games, I was in the school team, I was in the college team, I played the district, I played the state, or I went for the SSB camps, or the RDC. Right? All that is okay, all that takes time. But what happens is people who are motivated, students who are motivated, they will find time to catch up with what they lose. They out in camps, practicing games, NCC, etc. They'll always make sure once you come back, they catch up with that. And as a result, even if the marks come down, they may not be beyond 10 to 12% variation. But in case the variation is more, say 15%, 20%, so there it indicates somewhere the lack of management of time, balancing out priorities in life. You get so involved in games, other things, you forget about the things. And देखा जाएगा बाद में attendance पूरी हो जाती है, but when you come in you can't catch up and the loss becomes more. So that is the reason why marks could go down beyond a particular level. One understands that if you've gone for camps, sports, there could be some variation. 5, 7, 8, 10% is reasonable, it's understandable. But if it's more, 15, 20%, somewhere it indicates a lack of balance, priorities, time management at your end. Right? Then questions like, why should I select you? What is the aim? Aim is to see your motivation. Right? So obviously talk of your passion, talk of your dream to be in the uniform, talk of your desire to be in the armed forces. Right? That should be one. Top of it, you can supplement it by saying that your faith in yourself. See, whatever is happening is you having a faith in yourself. Just come what may, I will do it. Come what may, I will go through it. Come what may, I'll not give up. Right? So that faith is an important part, very important factor in the motivation of a person. So do have that faith in yourself and speak like that. And also you could talk of your ability to work around with people in a group as a team player, etc. Your interpersonal skills, your social skills. Those would also be good kind of a factor for the IO to consider to be a suitable person. But don't really focus on top of I have got this quality, that quality. More passion, more about your faith in yourself, more about your ability to work in a team. Those it would be good to think on those lines and answer in your own way. Right? Then sometimes question could be asked about your role models. Do you have a role model? Who's your role model? Why? Who is a role model? Role model need not be a person that you want to replicate as. Role model could be anybody whom you admire for certain qualities that he or she has. Could be somebody within the family, parents or uncles or grandparents, or could be a teacher, could be a principal, could be a public figure. You are inspired by certain war heroes, you read the stories of some celebrities, their journey of life, you read the celebrity of sports people, you find there's something in them which inspires you. Their ability to work through difficulties, their ability to face challenges, their ability to be humble in difficult situations, their ability to take risks at odd times. Those are things which are not very common, and when you see that, it inspires you. Right? Good to pick up role models like that, and for the reasons or the qualities that you admire and the qualities that you want to imbibe in yourself. So therefore, knowing about those people, knowing about the journey of their life, trying to relate with that would also be important, rather than just talking of a prominent person as a role model. Unless you know that person, you read about him, something inspiring which has touched your heart, that's how one should choose a role model and speak of that. Questions like, what if you're not recommended? Right? Very often the IO may ask you in the end of it, what if you're not recommended? What is the purpose of asking this question? Again, it's twofold. One is to see how motivated you are, and second is also to see that you have a reasonable backup option in life or no. Isn't it not good to have a backup option? Good to be motivated, मेरे को ये करना है, I will not join the army or armed forces or air force or whatever. Good to be, मेरे को करना है. But it's not wise not to have a backup option. But how to speak is important. Very often, candidates, if they say, I ask you, what if you don't get recommended? They very, very quickly come out, sir, if I don't get recommended, I'll be joining an engineering or I'm doing a job. Right? So very often these kind of answers are also there. or somebody say if I don't, I'll make it again, I'll do it again, मैं यही करते जाऊँगा, मेरे कुछ करना ही नहीं है. So that is also not a wise thing. So good way to answer such questions, what if we don't get recommended? Good to speak from your heart. I'm sure you do your best. So do say I'm doing my best. Do say I'm very hopeful of making it. And if for some reasons I'm not found suitable, I've got 2 chances, 3 again, I've got 4 chances. I'm sure I'll make it again. But as a backup, I'm taking up an engineering. As a backup, I am doing an MBA. Right? So that would be a sensible way of planning yourself and answering. Right? Don't answer for the sake of answering. Firstly, ask yourself, are you really convinced? Convince yourself, have that motivation, and give your best. And when you give your best, you always be hopeful. Obviously, you'll be hopeful. Do speak like that, and then have a backup to say that. But don't straight away say, if I don't get recommended, I'm joining an engineering college, I'm doing this. Nothing wrong, but at the face of it, it shows that there's no motivation for the armed forces, or you're not fully motivated for that. So take care of some of these things. Thank you.